the TradingPub's Trade-a-thon. We've got a great group of speakers lined up for you today. Here is actually a link. I'll post this for you. There's actually a link for it. You can log in and see who all's speaking when. We've got the schedule up till midnight for you that you can look at. So we very much hope that this is a beneficial event for you. If you've never been to our trade-a-thons before, just to kind of give you an idea, each speaker a minute. They will take questions. It's going to be educational in nature. You know, this is one of the things that we try to do at TradingPub. Everything we do is free, free education. So we go to these guys and say, hey, come share some of your information. Then at the end of their presentation, they're going to give you some type of opportunity to, you know, if you liked what they saw, to either email them or sign up for a free event or a very low-cost trial, you know, something to get started. But the thing that we really stress with them is, you know, prove yourself to the people first and show them some really good education that they can take away. So our goal here is for you to learn powerful trading strategies that professionals use in the market. So we appreciate you being here. Again, we started our community a little over 2 years ago, and you know, it's just been an awesome time hanging out with you guys and having you in here. The only rule we really have, we're very laid back, but the only rule we really have is just if you're going to be here, we just ask that you be cool. And that means, you know, not being that guy that's in the crowd heckling. You know, for some reason, we've got 12 different speakers, 12 different personalities, 12 different styles, markets. You know, the only thing we really ask is just that you be considerate. So if one of those 12 doesn't really fit into your wheelhouse of what you feel is the, you know, best trading education you've ever had, all we ask is, you know, go watch TV, go get a cup of coffee, go on a nice walk. But, you know, just be cool. Like Bob said, be considerate. And I appreciate you guys, you know, who help us out with that. So that's all we really ask of you. We just want you to learn and get as much as possible so that this benefits you as a trader. So one of our premier partners and top partners, since we've started doing these trade-a-thons, they've been involved in just about every one, are the guys over at Pristine. I see my friend Ray in the room. Ray helps coordinate these with the speakers, and we've got Sami speaking today from Pristine. He's going to talk about understanding chart patterns and psychology when it matters most. So everybody give Sami a warm welcome. And Sami, we appreciate you being here, and we will turn things over to you to get this thing kicked off. We are recording, and we'll post a copy of the recording on our website tomorrow morning and email out to everyone. So Sami, I'll turn it over to you, and you can take it away.
Hi guys, good morning. Good to see so many of you with us this morning, and I hope you're having a nice, relaxing morning so far. Can you hear me okay? Coming through hopefully loud and clear? All right, great. Hey Ray. Maverick, good to know, good to know. So welcome everybody to understanding chart patterns and your own psychology when it matters the most. It feels kind of a little weird giving a presentation at 5 a.m. It's, I mean, I'm on the West Coast in California, and it's pretty early here. But it doesn't matter. It's all good. I'm just excited to be here with you all, and I hope you enjoy my presentation. So again, my name is Sami Abusaad, and I'm the lead moderator of the Pristine Proprietary Trading Room, known as the Black Room, which is a live equities trading room. We have about 120 or more people in there on a daily basis, and it's made up of Pristine's own traders, prop traders, as well as subscribers. If you'd like to check out the Black Room and maybe trade with us, or if you'd like to just learn more about the Pristine method, you can actually get a free trial. And I think for this event only, I'm trying to advance a slide here, so just 1 second. It's not advancing, so all right, we'll just do it manually, I think. 1 second. Here, 1 second. I'm gonna actually, I'm gonna load up a different. Click the arrow to advance. Yeah, I know, right? I'm doing that, but it's not advancing. So let me just try something else. 1 second. Let me just try something else. I only have about 1 hour because I have to run the room after I have to open the room after I finish here. So let's try this. Let me see if this works. Hold on. That's so weird. I mean, I use Omnovia on a daily basis in my room, right? So 1 second, guys. If this doesn't work, I'm going to log out and log back in real quick. But we'll get it working in a minute here. So let me just log out and log back in real quick, okay? I'll be right back.
All right, guys. Sami will be right back. Appreciate your patience with that. For some reason, the slide's not advancing. Just give us your address, JD. We'll get it to you. Looks like you
Hey
got
guys, sound check one more time. My apologies. I was using Chrome and now I switched to Internet Explorer and that seems to do it. Can I get a sound check one more time? One more time real quick. Okay. Again, don't have a whole lot of time, so let's just get going here. If you're interested in checking out what I do on a daily basis, if you're interested perhaps in learning more about the Pristine method, just here's a great offer for you. I've never actually seen Pristine offer 1 month, one whole month. Typically, they just give you 1 week, so you can have 1 month of free access to the Black Room. Just email support@pristine.com if you're interested. And needless to say, this is only available to new members, new people, not current subscribers. Also, before I get started, this is a required standard disclaimer that we actually have to share with you. A couple of things I'd like to emphasize. One is that there is a very high degree of risk involved in any type of trading. So just please make sure you understand the risk involved. Make sure that the risk is suitable to you in light of your own circumstances and financial resources. And the other thing is that the charts shown are historical and are used to illustrate one or more Pristine method concepts. All charts are for educational purposes only. That's it. A couple slides on what we're all about at Pristine. If you're not familiar with Pristine, simply put, we're an industry leader in educating traders to trade on how to trade professionally. We teach traders on how to think and operate like a professional should. And we've been doing this for 20 years. For 20 years, we've been training hedge fund managers, market makers, new people who've never owned a stock before, virtually all of our competition. And hopefully, one of these days we'll earn your trust and respect and train you. Pristine is a 20-year veteran. We have educational material that's complete and in-depth, professional traders and instructors to expertly explain the material. Basically, our instructors are real traders. I mean, I do this for a living on a daily basis. As I said just yesterday, I was teaching the prop program, and I told the students that I have a hard time taking vacation sometimes, especially when the market is good. So because I love what I do. I love what I do. I used to work for a Big Four accounting firm, and I quit that just to do this. That was, of course, a decade ago. We have incredible follow-up to get you understanding the concepts that can make you even more money. For example, we have 24 follow-up lab and coaching sessions per month. So we have an incredible follow-up process. in place, because we do understand that you only retain so much by taking a seminar. So we make sure that we reinforce what you learn in the seminar. And recently, this is just brand new, Pristine won, Trading the Pristine Method, our 2-day course, won the award for as the best trading course in the country. We also won PMTR, the Pristine Method Trading Room, won the award for the best trading room, and Chart of the Week newsletter won the award for the best letter. Yeah, accounting, public auditing is what I used to do, and it wasn't very much. I didn't enjoy it very much, and I wanted to do something that I really enjoyed. So I made the switch, right? So we invite you to become a member of our community, attend our free power trading workshops, sign up for the free services. If you're on Facebook, we're also on Facebook. Greg Capra, our founder and CEO, is on Facebook and active, pretty active there. Take a free trial of our services, become a student of our method, and promise you won't regret it. And that's it. How long did it take me to start trading full-time? Probably 3 years, about, I would say. I mean, I had just saved up about $20,000 when I first thought about trading, and I didn't know what to do with it. I mean, I was not a spender, so I didn't know what to do with it. So that's when I started thinking about investing. And of course, I heard about Warren Buffett. I heard about other great investors and traders, and so I got into it. And but anyway, it's a long story. Today we'll talk about important fundamental ideas without which it'll be very hard for you to succeed. And I mean that. I mean that. This is not a sales gimmick. For some of you, it'll revolutionize your trading. For others, it may make you feel that you should have known this by now. And I used to feel like this all the time. Whenever I discovered something new or important that I didn't know before, I'd feel almost depressed. I'd feel like it's too late now. I've been trading for 2 years, and how come I didn't know that? And it's too late now. Well, if you feel like that, then I have a story for you this morning. The story of the old fisherman who one day goes out early in the morning to fish, and it was too early, so it was still dark, and kind of like this morning, it's still really early and dark out here. And while he was on his boat, his foot hit upon something that seemed like a sack, so he picked it up, probably washed ashore from some shipwreck or whatever, and he opened the sack, and he could feel pebbles inside. So he took these pebbles and started entertaining himself by flinging those pebbles far out into the sea to see how far, to see if he can judge how far he sent the pebbles from the plop. Well, when the day began to dawn, he looked into the sack and found 3 precious stones there. So the sack was filled with precious stones, and he didn't know it. Too late, too late, too late. Not too late. 3 precious stones left, not too late. So there you go. I love this story because I know how I used to feel, and some of you probably feel the same way today, almost, helpless or want to give up, or you feel like you've tried everything and nothing has worked so far. Well, if that's the case, let me just say a couple things. First, it's obviously not too late because you're here. And second, focus on what you can do about it, right? Do something different and do it with everything that you got, because this business demands that. It requires that you give it your all. Okay? And then hopefully one day you'll become the trader that you've always wanted to be, not the trader who could have been. You'll never be, me personally, I've never reached that level where I feel comfortable. Once I do that, it's typically, it's a temporary feeling, and I get slapped by the market, right? I get reminded that you can never get too comfortable in this business. But at least if you give it your best shot, guys, at least you will, you know, if it doesn't work, then no shame in that. You gave it your best shot and it didn't work. But if you don't give it your best shot, if you don't give it everything that you have, then you'll never know, right? You'll never know whether this could have worked for you or not. So I encourage you to really do everything that you can so you can succeed at this, because I know how much you want this. Some of you want this more than anything else. Can I get a yes if that's the case? Am I right? I mean, I talk to traders on a daily basis. I know this. I'm a trader myself. There you go, right? And it's not for vain reasons like I want to be a millionaire. No, it's because you want to support your family, and at the same time you want to maintain a certain lifestyle, right? I know that. Yeah. So there you go. So just encourage you to never give up, but to also do something different. Do something different. Yeah. If it's not working, then just, you know, figure out a way to do it differently, approach it differently. Here's the topics for this morning. I was going to say here's the topics for tonight, because I'm typically accustomed to giving workshops, free workshops after the close, not in the morning. The 3 strategies I trade, I want to share with you just to give you kind of a more information about what I do, the things that I actually trade, the 3 strategies that I trade. I'm going to teach you 2 great setups this morning. One is an intraday pattern, and the other is a swing trading. Is a daily pattern for swing trading. You'll love them, and then hopefully, if I get time to do this, I'm going to talk about psychology and the truth about trading. Okay, so here's the first real slide here, and this is what I do. These are the 3 strategies that I do: gaps and relative strength, relative weakness, and climactics. These are the only 3 things that I've ever done as a professional trader. And this is, you know, by doing this, by breaking down my trading into 3 separate strategies like that, it truly, completely revolutionized my trading. And again, just breaking the day down into 3 phases or segments, so to speak, and focusing on different things during each phase. When I first started trading the Pristine method, I ran into a huge dilemma. The dilemma was that I just learned a lot of patterns and a lot of setups that I liked, and at the same time, I had just finished reading Jack Schwager. His book was titled Market Wizards. So I just finished reading Market Wizards, where he said that in order to succeed, you have to trade in line with your own natural personality. And so whatever you trade, it has to be whatever patterns you pick, they have to match your personality. They have to fit your personality. So again, the dilemma I faced was, how am I going to figure out what patterns to trade that make sense to me, that I like, and also suit my personality? To make the long story short, here's what I figured out. I figured out that at the open, if I'm going to trade the open, there's really only gaps to trade at the open, because intraday trends have not yet developed. So if I get into a trade, it has to be on a gap that I was interested in getting into and trading to begin with. So if I use a breakdown pattern, a 1, 2, 3 pattern, a buy setup, a sell setup pattern, whatever it is, it must be on a gap that I was interested in playing that I was interested in playing, period, right? Meaning the gap is the reason why I wanted to be in that stock to begin with. And the intraday setup is just how I entered into that gap. And that's what I call a strategy, right? Does that make sense, guys? And for gaps, there is professional gaps. You want to play with the gap when it's a professional gap. Novice gaps, you want to play against the gap. You want to fade the gap. And in-between gaps, what I call in-between gaps. And these are gaps that can be played both long and short, depending on the intraday pattern. So at the open, I trade gaps. After the open, I ask myself, what else is there? What else can I trade after the open? Well, I realized that there's only really strong stocks and weak stocks after the open, and that I wanted to be in the strong stocks, play the strong stocks long, and play the weak stocks short. And so that's when I came up with another strategy called relative strength, relative weakness. And what you see under it here are just ways I enter into that strategy. So buy setup, sell setup, breakout, breakdown, power trends, pre-climactics. So that's my second, and that made my second strategy, made up my second. And then the third strategy was I realized that some stocks that are so strong go on to become climactic, and these can be faded once we can verify that the stock has reached what we call an exhaustion. And that was something I needed to write a strategy for, and that there is two types of climactics, full climactics and mini climactics, and they're significantly different in terms of entries, targets, reliability, a lot of other things. And I came across this quote not too long ago. It says success is 20% skills and 80% strategy. You might know how to read the chart, right? You might know how to read charts, but more importantly, why are you reading that chart? What's your plan to read that? Why are you interested in reading that chart to begin with? Yeah. So those are the three strategies that I do. And once I figured this out, trading became really simple. It became intuitive, so to speak, and what Jack Schwager calls effortless. In trading as an archery, if there is effort, force, straining, struggling, or trying, it is wrong. Yeah? This is a quote I picked up from Market Wizards also. You've probably heard the saying, good trading is effortless. And it initially didn't make sense because I was a workaholic. What do you mean effortless? I'm working my butt off here. Yeah, in the preparation, that's where the hard work comes. While you're trading, there is some kind of a flow to it. It's effortless. You're not forcing, you're not straining, you're not struggling, right? You're just flowing with the market, so to speak. That's basically, without getting there, I don't think you can be profitable, honestly. Okay, so that's just to give you kind of a background info on what I do, and I only trade equities. All right, so second topic here is technical analysis and chart patterns. And I'm going to share with you a great intraday pattern, and then I'll share with you a swing trading setup, a really, really powerful setup. Here's the intraday pattern. I typically play this on the 15-minute chart, but I see it set up on many, many different. And I call it the bleed pattern, because the stock actually bleeds sideways, and it's a stock that has recovered by going sideways after a rapid rally in the morning, which resulted in a deep retracement. The healing process is complete, and a pristine breakout can be taken once the rising 20 catches up with price. The entry combines a 2-minute breakout, trend change inside of a 15-minute buy setup, PBS. Now, why is it that you have to wait? For the stock to go sideways and verify a healing process has occurred, basically? Yeah. Well, stocks can heal through two things, either through time or price. This is through time. What do I mean heal? Well, guys, stocks are people. I mean, people traded them. When you have a deep retracement, what happens is anybody that went long here, that was thinking, okay, this is just a normal pullback, it's going to, stock is going to turn around and go higher, finds themselves in a, underwater because the stock has pulled back so much, and now they're feeling trapped. Their profits quickly evaporate, and now they want out. So anytime the stock rallies right away, if it just rallied there without actually going sideways, it typically fails. It has to go sideways. So okay, so that's the problem with deep pullback. So never take the first entry on a stock plagued by trapped traders. These traders that went long are now trapped. Let the stock prove that it has healed, either through time or price, before you enter. What's another way? Can somebody give me a pattern where the stock actually heals through price rather than time? Does anybody know of a pattern that where the stock is said to have healed? What I mean by healed, it means the people that are trapped are now out of the stock. They've given up on the stock and they got out. They stopped waiting. And does that make sense? So that's what I mean by healed, recovered. Does anybody know of a pattern that no, climactic, I wouldn't say that. So does anybody know of a pattern that shows you that the stock has kind of, the weak hands are out of the stock now? That's basically what it means to heal, that the weak hands, did I say the weak stock? I meant the weak hands already gave up on the stock. And anybody? Shakeouts. Okay, shakeouts, yeah, that's correct. Yeah, exactly. Good job. Double bottom or double top. Or, better yet, just call it a W pattern. I'm trying to, the whiteboard here, right? Let me just erase this. A W pattern, right? The stock tries to go and it doesn't, and it comes back down, retests the lows, and then this downtrend fails and continues higher. So that's another way the stock heals. W pattern, right? Or a shakeout, as somebody mentioned. That's correct too. Yeah. So this is one of those patterns that I actually kind of discovered on my own, and it's a really cool pattern because you enter here, you no longer have to use the big stop, you just enter right here and put the stop under the base. Yeah, put the stop right here. Let me show you some examples of that. Here it is. Here's a stock that was really bullish. It rallied $2 at the open, and then look at this bear stopping formation. The stock tried to go and then got slammed. Think about the people that are in the stock, right? Big topping tail. What does that tell you? It tells me that traders got caught, yeah, and continued lower. Now these people want out on any rally. If the stock just rallies like that, it's going to get sold. So stock rallies a little bit, it triggers an entry and fails. Or in this case, probably didn't fail, but if you actually picked it up there, that was the wrong thing to do, and you got shaken out there on this bottoming tail. But if you waited for the stock to go sideways, look at that breakout. Right? Another breakout and a pullback entry, just a home run, right? You can read this. Kind of don't have the time this morning, but this is recorded, so feel free to go over it again. Here's another pattern. You'll see that they make a lot of money. These patterns make a lot of money. This is on a $300 risk unit, so if you risk $300 on each trade, why? Because the entry is just right here. Right? The entry is just right here. The stop is just right above. So it's very, very small stop. So this stock had a really significant rally. You don't want to short that anymore. You might think, well, this worked. Yeah, this worked, but 9 other ones that set up like this don't work on any given day. Here's another one. And notice this. Yeah, that's significant too. That's a failed breakout. That basically, if there's anybody, so it retested resistance and immediately got slammed. So I know there's a lot of supply, and now I know there's people trapped who want out. As soon as the stock breaks down, they're going to start dumping their position, right? This is actually real trading. These are my trades, and I exited the target one right up here. I mean, way up there. Bad exit. I still managed to make nice sum of money, gross. Yeah, I look for this on the 15-minute chart. Yeah, I look for this on the 15-minute chart, but that's because I like to trade the small time frames in the morning and when I'm playing gaps. The big time frames in the afternoon when I'm playing this pattern or the relative strength, relative weakness strategy. Right? So I look for it on the 15-minute chart. It's there every day. In fact, I'll give you a hint. You can actually program your whatever scanner or to scan for this pattern. Right? A strong rally into the minor resistance, into the declining 20, and then that's too bullish. It just negates. Look at this big bottoming tail. You can't just blindly short it there. Okay, comes in and then bleeds sideways into the declining 20. Bam, lower, right? 2.9 Rs. Rs means risk unit. So whatever you risk, this trade would have made almost 3 times that. So you risk $100, would have made $300. You risk $300, would have made almost $900, right? There's more. This is brand new. I mean, I just took this not yesterday, a couple days ago on the 15-minute chart, sideways and then I mean, it sold off hard, rallied, wasn't ready to go here, right? Wasn't ready to go here. Once it went sideways into the declining 20, bam, right? Beautiful. This is a trade that I played and I called for in the black room too. Here's another one. See that? Look at this space. Into the declining 20, ready to go now. Tight stop. 3 cents, 3 pennies. On a stock that was this liquid, you can play it. Yeah, you can play it easily. Here's another failed breakout. Immediately, once I see this, I'm immediately interested in the stock, right? I'm immediately interested once I see this. So it's important to pay attention to this. Let's switch gears and take a look at our swing pattern. And I call this swing strategy. I mean, excuse me, a new strategy. I discovered this pattern about 3-4 years ago. Actually, in 2010, 11. So yeah, 3 to 4 years ago, and I still call it a new strategy because at the time when I discovered it, I was thinking that I didn't know what name to give it, and I'll show you the pattern in a minute. And then one of my favorite singers is Leonard Cohen, and he went into hibernation for 10 years, didn't release anything for 10 years, and then when he released his album, he called it 10 New Songs. And I was like, wow, couldn't you have just come up with a better name? 10 New Songs. And it's true, the album had 10 new songs in it. So I was like, okay, just call it the new strategy. But let me show you let me just switch gears here and show you charts. And I'm not going to show you the really great setups on this pattern. I'm going to show you the most recent ones, all the ones that happened just last week, couple weeks. This thing accounts for 50%. This accounts for about 50% of all the swing setups that I take. Okay, so just I have a list of the things that I played, and and here's the recent ones and the ones that I even passed on. The pattern is, well, let me just show you first the picture perfect one, a little bit like a couple weeks ago. Nuon, right? You probably are familiar with the company Nuon, and the pattern is calls for or the idea behind it is that you have to look for these big significant gaps. Here's the SPRT. I played this too, and that the best ones are typically the ones that put in on the gap. It's a big significant gap. There's a difference between big and there's significant. They're typically big gap in terms of size, and significant means they ignite new trends or end old ones. So you have to be able to figure that out too. And if that's the case, then look for those gaps that sell off or rally really hard and put in a wide range bar, big bar on big volume. That'll tell you that everybody that wants to be in is already in, or everybody that wants to be out is already out. 80% of the time after the wide range bar, after this wide range bar, you'll get a doji bar or an inside bar, a small bar, narrow range day. At least 80% of the time. If that narrow range bar's high gets taken out, you want to be in it long. If that narrow range bar's low gets taken out, you want to be in it short. It's the simplest thing that you can ever do in the marketplace. And you want to see how powerful it is? I'm not going to try and show you the ones that worked over the past 4 years. I mean, I have hundreds. I have 400 trades on them. I might kind of cut out there for a second. Let me show you just this week, right? This week. No, this is the daily chart. This is the daily chart. And the moving averages don't matter for this pattern, but it's the declining 20. Actually, they do matter for targets because I use the 20 MA for targets. 20 MA, the 200 MA, and that's it. The black, just ignore that for now. It's the 8-period moving average, all simple moving averages. So there's this guy over here. This is this week. This is last week. Gap, inside bar, long. And since this is a big gap and the stock has been selling off a lot before this big gap, guess what? And the stock got bought. You can take the first sell setup on it. You can actually do the first sell setup on it. So long and short, right? This is KBR, deck, right? Long and short. And I'm going to show you all of them, the ones that work, the ones that didn't work. you know, here if you played it long, you didn't get an inside day. You got it. You got a narrow body bar, but not a narrow range bar, and then that made a new high. So you don't really want to play that long. If you took the sell setup, fine, it worked. What is this? GLPI, short and long, right? Short and long. This is just this week. I mean, this is, I guess, a couple weeks ago. DAR, right? A gap down, big volume, inside bar, long and possibly short. Sometimes I don't play it short, like if it rallies too much and breaks the 20 MA and the 20 MA is no longer declining, then I pass on it. How do you know when to get out of these trades? When it reaches target. Typically, the target for this is the declining 20 or minor resistance if you're playing it long. Yeah. Have you tried this swing setup in the futures market? I haven't. I only trade equities, but it probably works in every market since, you know, people are the ones that trade futures and people never change. Human nature doesn't change, right? This is Bed Bath & Beyond. Wide range bar, under this bar, short. Once it gives you the pivot, long, right? And I can show you about 400 of these trades. Short, didn't really make any money. I mean, just a little bit, and then long, you'd still be in it. NSR, this was, you know, the low of this bar never got taken out. The high of this bar got taken out, so long. Sometimes it's just a 1, 2, 3. Sometimes it's more than a 1, 2, 3. Blocks, recently, brand new, last week. Look at this. Big moves, right? Take a look. This was really sloppy. This is WPX, really sloppy. Inside bar, long. DLLR, look at this. Never gave you that setup to play short, but if you played it long, look at this. This pattern, guys, you have to be logged in on time because we only have 1 hour. The setup is you get a wide range bar followed by a doji bar on a big significant gap, right? And then you play it once that doji bar's high gets taken out, or you play it short once that doji bar's low gets taken out. I play this mainly on gap downs, and you just won't believe. A lot of the stocks actually bottom out on this pattern. A lot of stocks reach the bottom on this pattern. Look at this. And I'm not picking. I'm just going over the list from bottom to top, meaning from the newest trades to the oldest ones. There it is. Long only, right? LinkedIn, short and long. You know, there it is, and then long. Just unbelievable pattern. Unbelievable. If it wasn't, I wouldn't be sharing it with you today. Where's the stop? Just under that doji bar's low. Very, very small stop. Just under that doji bar's low. Sometimes if they're almost equal, I put it under the whole thing, right? So you can take it long, and then you can take the sell setup. If the pattern's bearish, play it just only short. Short, long. This is all this week or the past couple of weeks or so, right? Again, not showing you patterns from long time ago. You know, look at this. Look at this guy. This is TSRA, long, and look at this. It's still going. A lot of stocks actually put in the all-time low. They just bottom out on the daily chart with this pattern. Again, it's just unbelievable. SPRT, I played this, but I got out too early. Look at this. SPRT or SRPT, long, and I got out there. Look at this. So this is 13 bucks, right? Look at this, 28 bucks today, 28.60, right? PSI, you know, this thing was kind of, you had to play it on the breakout, not the 1, 2, 3 that I was showing you, you know, and so on and so forth. I mean, just, and then I can show you some on gap ups that work. You want to see some on gap ups? Like, look at this, NRF, look at this, a gap up. And look at this, still going. NBIX long, didn't really work that much. I played the NBIX a while ago also, short and long. See that on that pattern that I just taught you. And if you took every sell setup, it worked too, until the stock bottomed out, made a higher low there, a double bottom, and that's it. And then it gapped up massively after that, and then flex. Look at this flex, guys. Unbelievable. The stock just cleared the long-term base over 200 and then gave you, didn't quite set up like like I've been showing you, but it gave you a pullback entry after 200. Bam, right? Huge play. These are on gap ups, ENDP. And this is a while ago. See that? pattern on a gap up though. I try and not play it on a gap up because I found it, I mean, I didn't really, I found it a lot easier to play on gap downs. I found it a lot easier to play on gap downs. Anybody has any questions on this? Anybody has any questions on this? This is a very, very powerful pattern, yet easy to play. Very, very easy, even if you're new to trading. Isn't it awesome? It really, truly is awesome. It truly is awesome. Yeah, and I don't know how I didn't discover this. I can't repeat the strategy. You'd have to listen to the recording because I just spent 20 minutes doing that. But I don't know how I didn't discover this earlier. I mean, in my career, it would have made a huge difference. This accounts for about 50% of all of my swing trades, and I'm an active trader. I mean, I have swing trades almost every day, almost. No, this is on the daily chart. Again, you'd have to listen to the recording if you missed the entire thing, because I won't be able to go over it again. So you like that? I hope you do. And then I'm conflicted here. I feel conflicted about what to. There's two things that I can go over. You want me to do this? Let me just do this. I'll pass on this, and I'll go over this. I'll go over this. Psychology now. This is our third topic. Yeah, psychology. You have to be ready for this, though. Some of you are probably not ready for this. These are facts that a lot of traders have no clue about, and they're because of our psychology, right? And the first one is kind of easy to understand, and I think most of you would agree with me, is your trading is in a mess. And you know, for most of you, that's probably the truth. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. But here is, let me just do this real quick. Okay, but here's some ways to judge whether or not your trading is in a mess or not. The question is, do you ever have really bad days? Are you up one week and down the next? Up 1 month and then down the next? Are you unhappy with your trading? Not the results, but you know, you trade with a lot of internal conflict. If the answer is yes to any of these questions, then your trading is in a mess. And the first step would be to admit that and see it, see the truth behind it. The second fact is your trading is in a mess because you have wrong ideas, not because there is anything wrong with you. When I first started trading, let's start with the second half first. When I first started trading, I mean, I was a really good. I mean, I was a good kid. I was I was actually still in college, but almost just graduated. 4.0 student, you know, really disciplined and just, and you know, not a dumb guy either. Just at least average smarts, right? Average intelligence. And the first thing that when I started trading, first thing I thought, well, what's wrong with me? I'm maybe just not good enough for this. I'm not cut out for this. And the truth of the matter is, if you're here today, you're probably smart enough to be a successful trader. That's the truth. That's the absolute truth. There's not much to this business. It's probably simpler than any other business you can think of. And yet, the failure rate is probably higher than any other business. That's because of what's wrong with you is your ideas, right? We have wrong ideas. And these ideas may be considered really good ideas in real life, ideas that work really well in real life. These don't transfer very well to trading. Being a human being doesn't transfer very well to trading. You know, we have the hope and fear syndrome, right? The way we perceive trading is just completely backwards. That's what's wrong. But as far as you being capable enough, smart enough, you are. Okay, if you're you just have average intelligence, you have common sense. You know, some of you might be thinking, what do you mean I have common sense? Of course I have common sense. Yeah, I know. But do you use common sense in your trading? That's what I mean. Does your trading make sense? right? Is it rational, logical? And if you really study your trading, you'll realize that most of it doesn't. So hence, you're not doing very well. So fact number 3, this is kind of hard to believe and understand, so hold on to your chairs here. You do not want to get out of the mess. You do not want to be consistently profitable. You want other things which you think are going to make you profitable. Yeah, that's, again, it's hard to believe, but let's kind of go over it. This is a statement of fact, and the tragedy is all you need to do, truly, all you need to do is to sit down for 2 minutes and just watch how untrue it is that you want to be a consistent trader. You know something? You won't sit. You won't sit. Because if you sit, you might see it. And I know I wouldn't sit. I mean, I resisted it for years. Most of you probably purposely, deliberately don't want to get out of the mess. You know, it feels uncomfortable to have to face yourself. It's uncomfortable to have to sit down and figure out what the exact problems are. Does anybody know why that problem is? Why we have that issue, which is we don't want to really discover what the problems are with our trading? Does anybody know why? You probably heard the saying, ignorance is a bliss. What does that mean? Ignorance is a bliss? It really means people would rather not know things, because then they'd have to deal with them. Yeah? And that's exactly the same, what happens for most traders. Otherwise, why is it that most traders don't review their trades, don't track their trades? Is it because you don't have enough time? Or it's too much work? No, it's because, most people don't want to face themselves. Yeah, it's too painful. You'd rather not know what the problems are, because then otherwise you'd have to do something about it. And worse, once you know what the issues are, if you don't fix them, you're now directly responsible, which is the last thing we all want, is to take responsibility. Guys, think about it. Why do people like to gamble? It's because they can't hold themselves accountable. It's a game of chance. So it's an easy way to escape responsibility. So it follows that you don't really want to get out to become a consistently profitable trader. Yeah. You want other things. You want to win. You want to be right. Guys, most people would rather be right than profitable. Did you know that? No, most people would rather be right than profitable. And a lot of people want emotional satisfaction out of their trading, such as excitement, thrill, emotion relief, and all they think, right? And I thought consistency is what I've always wanted, right? And they think that that's what they're after. They're not. That's not what they're after. They're after emotional satisfaction, which, of course, if that's what you're after in the market, it's not going to work. In fact, I read a book by Eric Berne, who's a psychologist, and he said that most of his clients or patients came to him not because they wanted a cure, but because they wanted relief. Yeah, he in fact used a kind of a graphic example. I won't quote his exact words, but he said, imagine somebody in a cesspool, and all they wanted was, and they were saying, can you just make sure nobody makes waves? They don't want to get out. Oh, no, get out, that's too painful. But they just don't make waves. Yeah, don't make waves. That's what most people want in trading. Make sure you see that in yourself. Yeah, make sure you see that in yourself. Win or lose, everyone gets what they want from the market. That's Ed Seykota said that. Win or lose, everyone gets what they want from the market. Yeah. So, all right. Fact number 4 is your attachment to money is the main cause of your failure. So you want to win, you want to be right, and you want to make money. which is actually the main cause of your failure. You're focused way too much on the money. The best traders that I have met were the ones that had a carefree state of mind when it came to money. They really couldn't care less about money. Those typically made the best traders. Guys, when you're attached, you lose objectivity. Your telescope, so to speak, goes out of focus. When you're attached, your window is becomes blared. And fool that you are, you're now going to try and straighten out all the buildings. Can we clean your window first? That's basically what you should be attempting to do. Clean the window. Not try and straighten out the buildings. They're straight all right. Yeah. When you're not attached to a specific result, to the money, you become a much better trader, and you start seeing things clearly. And that's why traders actually find it a lot easier to trade a simulator. Most of you are probably profitable trading a simulator than a real account, right? So when an archer shoots for nothing, he has all his skill. If he shoots for a brass buckle, he is already nervous. If he shoots for a prize of gold, he goes blind. He is out of his mind. He sees two targets. His skill has not changed, but the prize divides him. He cares. He thinks more of winning than of shooting, and the need to win drains him of power. Isn't that beautiful? I came across this also in a book recently. I mean, not too recently, written, 2,000 years ago. When an archer shoots for nothing, he has all his skill. If he shoots for a brass buckle, he's already nervous. If he shoots for a prize of gold, he goes blind. He's out of his mind. He sees two targets. His skill has not changed, but the prize divides him. He cares. He thinks more of winning than of shooting, and the need to win drains him of power. See that for yourself. Yeah? See that for yourself. Fact number 5, if you are not actively engaged in making yourself a losing trader, you'd already be successful. And I don't really think I need to go into it much. But think about it. When you guys lose, when we lose, and it's inevitable that we lose, what's the first thing that happens? What's the first thing that happens? If you're attached and you care too much about the money, what's the first thing that happens? Anybody? You get upset, right? You get emotional, which means when you get emotional, what happens? You stop seeing things clearly anymore. You can't see things clearly anymore. Again, easy to see why very few traders actually make it. Easy to see why a blindfolded monkey throwing darts at a newspaper's finance pages could select a portfolio that do just as well as one carefully selected by experts. And why do you think you trade with fear? Again, attachment to results. Where do you think all greed comes from? Attachment. Where do you think inner conflict comes from? Attachment. Traders have so much inner conflict that here's a perfect picture for you. Here's a perfect picture for you of how traders live their life on a daily basis. Think of a concert hall. The orchestra is about to play a symphony, and you've settled down nice and comfortable in your seat, and you're ready to hear the music when you suddenly remember you forgot to lock your car. You see the dilemma? What do you do now? You can't get out. It would be too disturbing. And you can't enjoy the music. And you're caught in between. This is the image of life for most traders. Constant anxiety. Why? Because they're caught between having to make money and having to follow their trading plan and focus on consistency rather than the result. Again, the biggest obstacle to consistency is being attached to a certain result. And some people are attached to, they want to make money, not because they need the money. They're millionaires already. I've met people like that. They want to make money because they derive their sense of self-worth from it. Yeah? They judge by they judge if their capable enough, smart enough, good enough, by whether or not they're making money. And so, they lose. They lose. If they had a carefree state of mind, they would probably win. Most of you probably would. If you had an education, you have to be educated. That's, first and foremost. There's no two ways about it. You have to get educated first. Without an education, the chance of succeeding is like the chance of you succeeding, just going on a stage. That it was so big that it caught the attention of the bus conductor, and who came up to him and said, "Hey, what do you have there on your lap?" And the soldier said, "Oh, it's an unexploded bomb." And he was turning it into, I guess he was turning it in. And so the bus conductor told him, you don't want to carry that on your lap. Put it under your seat. You see, guys, that's what thinking that charts are going to solve your problem. That's what it does. They transfer the bomb from your lap to under your seat. Now, don't get me wrong. You have to be expert at chart reading. You do, no doubt about it. But it's and I guess that's not hard to do, because you just get educated and you become an expert at chart reading. But the problem is, once you get there, you can't stay there. You have to go deeper. You have to fix those problems that are the result of years of conditioning and programming, that are honestly the result of being a human being who has a fight or flight instinct, hope and fear instinct. And that's not easy. The psychology. And that's not a personal problem of yours. We all have that. Every one of us, including myself, including me, right? So, and the other thing to understand is that fixing your problems is not going to be easy if you're too attached to the result. So I have a really simple solution for you in the form of an email. Here's the first solution to fix your problems. So I'm not only pointing out the problems, I'm also going to offer you a solution. The solution is, again, it's in the form of an email that I sent to a friend of mine 5 years ago. And let me just read this. So if I were to just, so she asked me, how do I enable my mind to switch gears? So I said, if I were to suggest that, if I were to suggest anything that would enable your mind to switch gears, it has to be this: stop doing what you know does not work. Forget about figuring out what works and just worry about what does not work. If you are not consistently profitable, you do not yet know what works. And quite frankly, what works is relevant. What works for me may not work for you. So I can never tell you what works. What I can tell you is, when you stop worrying about figuring out what works, and instead focus on eliminating what you know does not work, based on your experience, of course, your trading will take a giant step forward. This is the biggest piece of advice I can give anyone. As the quote goes, I do not know the key to success, but the key to failure is fill in the blank and just work on eliminating it. Yeah. So that's really the biggest piece of advice I can share with you today is, don't try and figure out all the secrets to the market. Just worry about the things that you do on a daily basis that actually, make you a bad trader. Just fix those, take care of those, and then things will, fall into place naturally. That's okay. That's the first solution. Second solution is redefine success. Redefine success. If you, from this email, if you think about it, I'm not giving you a formula to be successful. I'm just telling you to drop something. Yeah. You don't do anything to become consistent. You drop something. It's like health. You don't acquire health. Nobody does. You drop your sickness and you're healthy. Like happiness. You don't acquire happiness. How do you do it? There's no solution. There's no way to do it. You just drop your anxiety, your worry, your tension, right? Whatever it is. And if you do that, then you're fairly happy. In fact, the Chinese put it beautifully. They say when the eye is unobstructed, the result is sight. It's a Chinese quote. When the ear is unobstructed, the result is hearing. When the nose, the result is smell. When the mouth is unobstructed, the result is taste. And the same for traders. When the mind is unobstructed, the result is consistency, profitability, happiness, perhaps. Yeah. But having said that, you also need to redefine success. If being successful depends on whether or not you're making money, rather than, say, following your trading plan, then you're going to be miserable, because we don't always actually get the results that we want. You think I get the results that I want? I don't. So I can't really base, I can't be focused too much on the results. So redefine success. Make it based on your effort. Make it based on your consistency, not based on the result. And if you make it based on the results, you're going to be upset. You're going to be upset all the time. And when you're upset, as we've discussed a minute ago, you're finished. You'll start trading out of emotions rather than logic. And you're done as a trader, no matter how good you are. No matter how good you are. Yeah. So, Roger, the chart pattern is there like the ones you just showed, but how many will not take the trade is what you're saying. No, what I'm saying is, yeah, you need to know the charts inside and out. You need to be an expert at reading charts. But you have to also be aware of your own psychology. You have to make sure you're aware of all the psychological stuff that just being part of the human race. And it doesn't really is not very helpful for trading purposes. You have to be aware of that. I certainly had a lot of psychological problems when I started trading. That were the result of my upbringing and my background, and the fact that I was actually a perfectionist, and I tried to transfer that into trading. It doesn't work. Okay, you have to always constantly be aware of that, and throughout the day too. You have to monitor your stream of thoughts and emotions. Yeah, Arthur. So are you always reviewing losing trades? Let me just say, to see why they didn't work. That's correct. You have to do that. You have to do that. Now, for me, I don't have to do that unless there is a problem. I make money almost on a daily basis, almost every single day. So, I don't, so that you lose, I've lost the kind of, it's no longer the cost benefit is not there anymore. I mean, for me to annotate my charts on a daily basis, I don't have to do that anymore. I've done it for years though. I've done it for years. So, yeah, makes sense, guys. Need to wrap it up here. If you're interested in trading live with me, I don't want to try and sell you anything, but just want to mention that if you're interested in meeting me in person, trading with me in person, I'm going to be doing a live trading mentorship for 1 week, limited to 5 students only, in San Francisco. So you can inquire about this more by contacting Pristine. Again, it's a live mentorship, and you learn everything. Yeah, you learn everything. Of course, you have to be familiar with the Pristine method first, because I'm not going to be teaching you the Pristine method there. How I do what I do on a daily basis. I authored a course that I teach, and the next one is coming up on April 26th. If you want to learn about the different patterns, the different things that I teach, that I trade. Yeah. And just for the record, this is my P&L for the last 2 days. For the last 2 days, I was teaching. I taught the prop course at Pristine. So I traded only for 1 hour on the 11th, and less than 1 hour yesterday, about half an hour. Is my P&L, and this is, I could have grabbed any P&L, I guess, and put it in there. No, this is actually my students saw that live. Yeah. So 3,387, 1,1792. The sum of last 2 days, less than 2 hours worth of trading, is over $5,000, $5,200. So I'm a consistently profitable trader. I don't just talk the talk. And that's it. Any questions, guys? Yeah, I do this mentorship also in New York. Last one I did was in New York just last month in February. So I'm gonna do it in San Francisco where I live. It's easier. What about the system you show in your videos? What about it? I mean, are we talking about the Pristine method? Incredible. It's an incredible method, and that's what I trade 100% of the time. There's an offer right now if you want to join the Black Room for 1 month free, just to get a feel for what we do on a daily basis. Feel free to contact Pristine. They'll give you 1 month of free access to the Black Room. Yeah, rather than typically that you get 1 week or something like that. What's the size of trading account to get that profit? It doesn't have to be big. Take a look. It doesn't. My account might be a little bigger than the average, but it doesn't have to be big. Where was it? I don't know where it was. I don't know where it is. That P&L. Take a look. I just want to show you something. Oh, I don't know where it is. I have no idea where it is. It disappeared. That slide with the. Oh, it's right here. Take a look. I just want to show you. Take a look. 16,000 shares is all I traded. I told you. I traded for 1 hour. 57,000, but that's because I traded ZGNX and it was a small stock, ZGNX, and I had to kind of short a lot of shares there to make that money. And then I also traded Jern. That's all I did yesterday. 2 trades. And Jern is, it's a very, it gapped down to $1. So I mean, you had to kind of grab a lot of shares for it to make money. So that's it. But the day before is 16,000 shares and $3,400. So, well, my time is up, guys. My time is up. But I want to thank you for attending this workshop. I really, really sincerely hope that some of you will, maybe 1, maybe 2 of you will carefully look and see through this, what I call network of lies that we've subjected ourselves to. The psychological handicaps, right? Then this workshop was worthwhile. Again, I certainly thank you for spending part of your trading with me, part of your morning with me this morning. I'm reading some of your comments. This has to be $1 million account. Okay, let me just clarify this. This is under $100,000 account. Don, I don't know what you're talking about here. So, how do you know it has to be $1 million account? I mean, just before you say something, make sure you know what you're saying. So it's under $100,000. So, all right. So again, I want to thank you for joining me this morning. I hope you guys have a great day. Here's that offer slide again, if you want to be part of the Black Room where I trade. All right. So take care, guys. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of the speakers. Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right, great. Thanks, Sami. Appreciate you being here, and I think like Steve said, appreciate the simplicity. Again, just good education there, and very, very much upfront and honest, and we appreciate you doing that. And again, if you want to access a free month of the room, you just shoot an email to support@pristine.com. Yeah, we will record. We'll post a copy of the recordings on our website as soon as we get them up. Most likely will be tomorrow, and we'll email that out to everyone. So again, thanks to Sami and Ray, and see Amber in here, and Kurt, all the other great folks over at Pristine for all their help and being a part of these events. So, all right, at this time, I'm going to turn things over. We've got a